It is today's just been so fun. There's so many things that have been going on. And I'm very much looking forward to our darshan today that Rabbi Ron Schulman is a member of the family, a cousin in the family, and well known in the Baltimore, Washington area. While he has been at Congregation Bethel in San Diego for the past 8 years, like who knew that there was like part of the chain, right? It's like Dunkin' Donuts, but it's Bethel. So Bethel in San Diego for the past 8 years and grew up in Southern California. He served other congregations in California, but focused here that Rabbi Schulman was the senior rabbi at Chizuk Emunah in Baltimore for 13 years. And so it's wonderful to have him back in the area and wonderful to have him as our teacher this morning.
Shabbat Shalom, good morning, good morning. Rabbi Harris, you tease, but I have a very funny story to tell you. Some time ago, a woman called my congregation, Bethel in La Jolla, and commented to the receptionist that she hadn't received any mail, any email, no notices about anything going on at the congregation. So our receptionist apologized to her and asked her name and her contact information. And after looking her up in our data system, the response came, I'm very sorry, ma'am, but we don't show you in our membership records. What? How could that be? I asked Bethel in Bethesda to forward my records to you. True story. So maybe we should explore creating some kind of a franchise or collaboration opportunities for all of the congregations Bethel around the country. Or not. For now, please accept my sincere thanks for the privilege of sharing some Torah this morning, as I did 30 years ago. Sorry, Dahlia. In November 1994 at B'nai Emet Synagogue in Minneapolis, when you became a bat mitzvah, on this precious Shabbat, I honor Farah as we celebrate with Dahlia and Brian and this entire Bethel Synagogue community. I need Farah. Where'd Farah go? She's coming? Oh, she's allowed to do that. Okay. I have a question for Farah that I'll ask all of you. And then Dahlia and Brian, you answer the question for her. Okay? Okay. Does Farah like to be in the middle of things? No. Not right in the middle of things? Well, she certainly is as she becomes a bat mitzvah today. Not only because all of us are so happy to celebrate, but because earlier Farah read from the middle book of the Torah, Vayikra, Leviticus. She read the middle portion of Vayikra of Leviticus, and she read the verse at the exact middle of the Torah. Actually, Wendy, you read the verse and Farah followed. Here's the verse, the exact middle verse in the Torah. You shall rise before the aged and show deference to the old. When a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall not wrong him. At the midpoint of Torah, we learn about taking our place. Looking back, we appreciate the wisdom and insights of those who came before us. We show respect and appreciation to our elders and our ancestors. And we also look forward, understanding from this center spot the opportunities and responsibilities incumbent upon us. Poised between the past and the future, we look around today, commanded to care for and care about all who live around us. We who are Jewish find ourselves right in the middle of things. And so I have a question at the foundation of Torah that I want to ask everyone. I want you to think for just a moment, in your mind, in your experience, in all that you have lived, what is the most complicated part of being Jewish? I'll suggest for a moment that I don't think it's anti-Semitism, though we're certainly right in the middle of that scourge at the moment. But we are not Jewish because they hate us. We are Jewish because we love the eternal our God with all our hearts, with all our souls, and with all our mights. We are Jewish because we love the values and ideals of our people's historic and enduring heritage. So complicated as anti-Semitism is, that's not what's the most complicated thing we face. And people often tell me it's ritual observance and celebration that they find the most complex. Finding meaning somehow in our customs and practices seems challenging for too many. I sense, however, that the most complex, and because it's the most complex, I believe it's the most rewarding part of being Jewish, is what I'm going to call distinctiveness. What I actually like to call the gloriously complex and compelling reality of being Jewish. Jewish identity is complicated because we who are Jewish are not defined by the perceptions and proclivities of others. We are not a race, superior, inferior, or anything else. We are a people unique in the world. And it's complicated because we Jews are a microcosm of all of humanity's categories: race, nationality, ethnicity, and individual identity. And this real Jewish identity does not conform to the categories used by most people to define themselves or the others they know. Yet this distinctiveness, or as the Torah called it this morning, this holiness, is right in the middle, at the center of the gloriously complex and compelling reality of being Jewish. It is at the heart of Judaism's enduring significance. We read this morning, Kedoshim tihiyu, you shall be holy. Why? Ki kadosh ani, for I, the eternal God, am holy. And a midrash, an interpretation of this verse, reads it differently. It doesn't say Kiddushim tihiyu, you shall be holy. It says Perushim tihiyu, you shall be distinct. Think about your distinctive nature. If we are not each unique, the world has no needs for our personal gifts and talents. If we are not distinctive as a group, then we have no wisdom or vision, no history or shared sacred story to share with the larger world. And that's why, influenced and touched by the whole of human experience, we Jews look at the world through our particular lens. And this is the challenge of Jewish identity: to be a part and to be set apart. As Jews, we want to be and we need to be both a part of the larger society, right in the middle of things, right in the middle of the world in which we live, and set apart from it in the distinctive particularism of being and doing Jewish. Our heritage places us right in the middle of things, to focus on our covenantal bond with God and the Jewish people, and to seek covenant with everyone else in the world, because the world needs our voice and our values. And today we find ourselves in the middle of so much as war rages, hate wages, and bad news engages us. We live in uncertain times. And no matter our individual opinions and perspectives about events at home and around the globe, few whom I know take any pleasure in these trying times of turmoil, tension, and social division. This isn't my pulpit, this is yours, so it's not my proper place to address any of those topics, other than to recognize where we sit these days, right in the middle of almost everything taking place. I will say, in trying times, we must try. The imperative, you shall be holy, or as I prefer, the imperative, you shall be distinct, for I, the eternal God, am holy, is aspirational. It is not yet actual. To realize this vision of Torah, we ask ourselves, to be a part. How are we present to those who are a part of our lives and care? How are we present for them, attentive to them, supportive of them, honest with them, and loving toward them? To be set apart. How are we set apart from the others of our personal worlds, focusing on ourselves, our souls, our personalities, and our characters? To be a part and to be set apart. How do we choose to be a part of the larger society in which we all live and set apart from it in the distinctive particularism of our Jewish affirmation? Which, Farah, brings me to you. At your mother's bat mitzvah, I asked her to use her many personal qualities to make her way into the larger world by embracing these natural tensions of living, exploring, and celebrating being Jewish in a world that isn't. And at your parents' wedding, to Dahlia and Brian, here it comes, I made a similar request, building on the strong foundation of their attainments and their love, to imagine what more they could discover about themselves and achieve for others as they set out on their life together. Today, Farah, I turn to you. May you make your way as a young woman and responsible Jewish person with joy, with questions, and with love. Stay right in the middle of things. Be uniquely who you are, so all of us and the world can receive and celebrate your many gifts. You as a bat mitzvah, and all of us as your family and your community, aspire toward holiness, toward living our distinctive values and virtues, not only for us, but for a world desperate for healing, hope, and humanity reflecting the sanctity of divinity. Mazal tov. Shabbat shalom.